Well, in other news, in its final week in the White House, the Biden administration has proposed a new framework for exporting advanced computer chips used to develop artificial intelligence, an attempt to balance national security concerns about tech with the economic interests of producers and other countries. The Biden administration's new rules to curtail other nations' access to advanced artificial intelligence chips sparked frustration within the industry, though. The controls put limits on AI semiconductor exports to 120 countries, including some of Washington's close trading partners. Now, they are aimed at stopping China, which already faces restrictions on AI chip purchases, from obtaining the tech from other nations. But US chip giant NVIDIA, whose stock fell on the news of the curbs, said the regulation is merely cloaked in the guise of an anti-China measure and wouldn't enhance US security. Now, you must note that while the Biden administration is attempting to set up a global framework that will help guide how artificial intelligence spreads around the world in the years to come, however, ultimately, it will be up to the Trump administration, which enters office in about 6 days, to decide whether to keep the new rules or how to enforce them. For further clarity, we have with us Irina Sukuman on the broadcast. Thanks so much, Irina, as always, for making time for us. Now, how will this impact global trade relations, and could it strain partnerships that have historically been strong?
Thank you so much for this question. Well, one of the interesting developments is that Biden is actually restricting the supply of these AI chips to Israel until Israel severes its industry ties to China, presumably meaning until they stop supplying China with this technology. China has been quite flexible in obtaining these chips from various third parties, exploiting loopholes in the export-import controls, but also aligning with countries that have developed very strong industry relations with China. China and Israel on a government level have not been close in any meaningful way, especially after October 7th. But on the business side, side has been quite a great deal of dependency, and this is one of those points that could put a great deal of strain between the U.S. and Israel, and it is also one of the measures that the Trump administration could potentially continue if they take the threat of China, particularly in the technology sector, seriously. But Israel is likely not to be the only country that will face these measures. A number of Middle Eastern countries have been cooperating through BRICS with China on technology exchanges and attempts to develop independent AI and AI chips industry. Saudi Arabia, UAE, just a couple of them.
Irina, why the US government, though, justifies this whole AI chip restriction saga as a national security measure? We've got NVIDIA saying that these controls are more about geopolitical controls and geopolitical posturing rather than actual security. So what's your view? Is this a case of protecting national security or are economic interests at play?
Truth is, these restrictions are a temporary measure in the sense that China has been looking to develop its own domestic technology and to become less dependent on other countries. Nevertheless, timing matters. If we are talking about a real tech race, and it looks increasingly as we are, these crucial months or a couple of years can make a big difference in the technology arena. And while China has been successful with mid-range AI chips independent development, they have been far less successful in advanced technologies, which matter particularly in weapons and top technology that is linked to national security concerns, to military. To the military development, to military and security priorities.
Well, Irina, thanks so much for joining us with your opinion on the matter. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates as and when things progress.